Here we go. Good morning. Look at you. That was an awesome rainstorm and such a loud sandwich. So my name is Noa, and I grew up in another country where they speak another language. Raise your hand if you grew up in a country where they speak another language. Awesome! Raise your hand if you can speak a language that is not English. Awesome! Put your hands down. I'd like to teach you a couple of words in my language, which is Hebrew, because I grew up in a country called Israel. And in Israel, we have this awesome word that means 3 different things. Are you ready to learn a word in a different language? The word is shalom. Can you say that? Shalom. Shalom. Shalom means, does anybody know? What? It means peace. Who said that? Oh, thank you. Shalom means peace. It also means hello. It also means goodbye. So, shalom. Shalom. And now I'm going to teach you 2 words that are a little harder. Are you ready to listen? Derech. Eretz. Derech Eretz. Derech Eretz. Derech Eretz means the way of the land. And it's a way of saying respect. Listen to this story from Eastern Europe about how Derech Eretz, respect, can save you in the most unexpected circumstances. Are you ready to listen? Once upon a time, there were 2 brothers. How many brothers were there? 2. There were 2 brothers who lived together in the same house in the same village, and they were both hunchbacks. You know, they had a hump right there above their right shoulder. That is the way that they were born. But other than that, my friends, they were as different from each other as day is from night. You see, the older one, his name was Pacey. What was his name? Pacey. Pacey was a greedy, spiteful guy. Never content, no matter what. His younger brother, his name was Mottle. What was his name? Mottle. And Mottle was an easygoing guy, always content, no matter what. Now, as you could imagine, these 2 brothers did not get along. Pacey made Mottle do all the work around the house while he did nothing all day, just sit around and calculate how could they get rich. And if that wasn't enough, he particularly enjoyed teasing his brother, saying things like, "Your hump is bigger than mine. Your hump is bigger than mine. Your hump is bigger than mine." Mother was miserable. And one day, he just had it. His brother's bickering and teasing was shortening his days, and he decided he was going to leave. He was going to go out into the world and seek his own fortune. Well, he grabbed all his belongings, which was just another pair of pants. And he put it in a sack, and he flung it upon his back, and he walked out of that house, and he walked out of that village, and he walked into the forest, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked, and he walked all that day, and soon the shadows around him lengthened. Night was falling, but there was not a house in sight. There was not a light in the distance. And he realized he would have to spend the night out there alone in the wilderness. But being Mottle, he made the best of it. He found a clearing with a hollowed tree. And he curled up in that hollow tree, and though he was cold and hungry and it wasn't very comfortable, he went to sleep. But he did not sleep long. Suddenly he awoke. The clearing was filled with creatures. Big ones and little ones. Tall ones and short ones. Fat ones and skinny ones. And they all wings, beady red eyes, and long, sharp claws. And Muddle did not need to look twice to know exactly who they were, because he always listened to his mama's stories. Demons. And the demons were beating their drums. The demons were screaming and twirling and sticking out their tongues. The demons were dancing. And suddenly the smallest one of them stopped. And they all stopped. And the smallest one sniffed the air.
I believe a human is watching us.
There! And he pointed his long, sharp claw straight at that hollowed tree where Muddle was curled up. And Muddle prayed that the earth will open up and swallow him alive. But instead, the demons dragged him out of his hiding place. They made a circle around him, and the smallest one, apparently their leader, said,
You were watching us, so now you must dance with us.
Good. What was Muddle supposed to do? He's never danced in his life, but he sure did dance now. Oh, he danced from the bottom of his soul. Hey! And the demons liked the way he danced. For when they were through, the smallest one said,
You are a fine dancer. You must stay and dance with us forever.
Oy. Forever. Muddle saw the darkness descend upon him. But at that very moment, he remembered his mama's words before she died. Muddle, she said, remember my love. Always show derech eretz. Respect for all God's creatures. And Muddle, never ever say no to a demon. So he smiled politely and he said, thank you. I'll be honored to come and dance with you forever, but first I must go back home to my village and say goodbye to my family. Why don't I come and dance with you forever tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Yes, tomorrow. I'll come back, I promise.
You promise? Of course you do. But just to make sure that you don't forget, you must leave us a pledge.
He had to leave something of his own to make sure he'll come back for it. Well, he looked around. What could he possibly leave as a pledge? He offered his sack with his one pair of pants. They didn't want it. He offered his shirt. They didn't want it. He offered his shoes.
Ugh.
They didn't want those. He said, I'm so sorry, I really don't own anything else in the world except my hump.
Your hump? Now that's undamaged goods. That's a pledge we could accept.
Before Muddle could say another word, the demons made a circle around him, and they came closer and closer and closer, and vanished. And there he was alone in that clearing, with the first rays of the morning light peering through the trees, and he thought perhaps this was a strange dream. But then he noticed he was standing straight and tall. He was holding his head up high for the first time since the day he was born. His hump, it was gone. He jumped up with joy. He started running back to the village, and he ran through the main street of the village, and people were just waking up, and they were looking out through their windows and peering through their doorways. Ooh, look at Motto, look at Motto. What happened to his hump? What happened to his hump? What happened to his hump? His brother Pacey also wanted to know. Hey, what happened to your hump? So Motto told him the whole story, and Pacey said, "You ignorant fool! Don't you know that demons have gold? If you were just a little smart up here, you could have stuck around in the forest. You could have seen where they hide their gold. We could have been rich." But I'm quite happy with the way things are, brother. Oh, but Pacey was not happy with the way things were at all. He forced Muggle to give him instructions how to get to that place in the forest, and he set out that very same day, and he found that clearing, and he curled up in that hollow tree, and he waited, and he did not need to wait long, for soon the clearing was filled with demons. And the demons were beating their drums. The demons were screaming and twirling and sticking out their tongues. The demons were and suddenly the smallest one stopped, and they all stopped. And the smallest one sniffed the air.
I believe a human is watching us.
There! And they dragged Pacey out of his hiding place and made a circle around him, and the smallest one said,
You're watching us. So now you must dance with us.
And Pacey danced. And as he danced, he looked around. Where could they be hiding their gold? Now I am absolutely certain that each and every one of you in this room could see the difference between the way Mottle danced and the way Pacey danced. But unfortunately for Pacey, demons cannot do that. They cannot tell the difference between one human being to another. To them, each and every one of us looks exactly, identically the same. And when they were done with their dancing, the smallest one said,
You are an honest fellow. You kept your word and returned to us, so we will return your pledge to you.
And before Pacey could say another word, the demons made a circle around him, and they came closer and closer and closer, and seeing that he already had one hump upon his back, they stuck the pledged hump in the middle of his chest. So now he had 2 humps. And whatever happened to him after that? Did he go on dancing with the demons till the end of time? Or perhaps he went wandering into the world with those 2 humps of his? Who knows? No one ever told me. But I do believe that Mottle never saw that spiteful brother of his again. Thank you.